Hi, I'm Amalie with Systematic Excellence Consulting, and I'm going to go over the new feature Whiteboard. I just did a video on how to organize your ideas in ClickUp, and I thought that going over the Whiteboard feature would be a good idea since it kind of relates to brainstorming and organizing ideas. So I have one created. So it's a view just like the list view or the board view. So what I did is I just added a view. I just clicked on whiteboard and you hit add view and it'll add a new whiteboard or a new view. And as you can see, I have two. So I'm just gonna start with the one I created just to kind of show what I did. Now this is a brand new feature, so there are some things that are a little funny. I'm going to be honest, as I was kind of playing around with it. But I think it has potential, especially for people who are very visual when they plan. So what I did here is I created a topic, I just said topic one from the square option, and then there's different shapes that you can place here, and then you can also change the color of it. So if I want to change the color, I would just click here, change the color, and I did topic 1, 2, and 3, and then I created the connectors. So to create the connectors, you just click on this and you draw a line from one to the other, and it'll create the arrow. Now the only thing is that I haven't figured out how you can change the direction of that, so I might have to delete it because it looks a little crooked. So if you're anything like me, that might annoy you. You can make them bigger or smaller. You can also add, instead of a straight line, a squiggly line, or you can change the color of it and you can delete it. Now what I was thinking here is, let's say that this is a blog topic and we want to attach a specific task to it that have maybe some quote cards that are relevant to it. Let's say we can add a task. So if I click on this, I can browse tasks and go to my ideas. So let's say I go to blog ideas and I'm just going to pick topic 1 and it'll load. So let's say blog topic 1 goes here, and then I can move all of these things up. I can move them up. Oh, and I guess that's the way you would move it, but I haven't figured out how to move the arrow, but I'd move the boxes. So we can move them up here. I can put the task here, and if I want to, put a connector between the two, I can do that, and so it'll connect them, and then we can say, maybe these are related, the quote ideas are related, so I just click on that. Here, one thing that, let's see, so, well, I just want to add a few things. So if I'm going to do text, I can put text up here. Text or title of whiteboard. So you can add some notes there. Then you have options for a notes block. So I would just add, if I wanted to add that here, and maybe I want to change the color of that. So maybe notes are in white. And then I can type my, it's a little slow. So I can type my notes here. And I'd have, my, what they call these the shapes, they call these the notes, and then the lines, so the connectors are there. You can draw, so if you wanted to draw. And then I figured out that the way that you delete that is you highlight it and then hit delete. But which is kind of cool, because if I kept that drawing there, let's say I kept this here, and I wanted to change the color of it, I would just, because you want to change it from move to select. So once I select that and I want to change the color, I can change the color of the text without having to redraw it. And if I want to delete it, I just highlight it and hit the little trash can here. Now, I'm trying to think if there was anything else. So I was trying to add a bookmark, but it would not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it went, and maybe that's, something that I need to kind of look into to figure out what's going on, and why. But um, I can't seem to find the bookmark. Now, if I put this on to the hand, it's just going to move the screen, not move the individual items. If I want to move the individual items or, pieces here, then I would have to have the pointer. And then if I switch it to the hand, now I can move the whole thing. Now, I am going to upload an image to show you, because when you upload an image, if it's a larger image, it'll upload the full size of the image, which is a little awkward. And it's really big. It'll upload really large, but I can upload images. So let's say I'll just go here. I'm just going to pick this image that I just recently uploaded and see it's really large. So in order to make it smaller, I'm going to select it and I'm going to move it. Now, what I did in order to make that a little faster is I just moved the whole screen down to where the image corner is. If I can find it, hold on. Here we go. I think we're almost there. Okay. And then I moved the selector and I then made it smaller. Move the selector, move the thing, move the page till I can see it again. Move the selector. So at this point, I probably wouldn't recommend uploading images. If you're going to have images, if you watch my the how to manage ideas in ClickUp, I go over how I recommend organizing images and things like that in ClickUp to help you, organize your content or ideas. I don't necessarily think I would. Personally, I probably wouldn't be uploading them here just because it's a little, I don't know, it's a little funny on how it looks. And then you can also use your cursor to scroll. Just remember, if you want to move the whole screen, you got to switch to the hand or the move versus the selector. So those are, that's the general gist of the whiteboard. I think that it definitely has some potential. If you're more of a visual sort of person and you like to see things laid out, I think that this would be really helpful for you. I'm not personally like that. The way that I showed how to organize ideas in my last video is really how I prefer to see things. But I could see how this would be useful for someone that is a more visual person. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. And this is in beta, so I assume that they will be making more changes to it and upgrades to it. But it's definitely worth a try to see if it's helpful for you to organize your ideas and planning and things like that. I think that where I think that this would work also is in planning, let's say, a funnel. I definitely think that could work. So, you might have your, because I've seen people plan their funnels using sticky notes, or not even just a funnel, but, your value ladder or something like that. This could be the, opt-in page. Thank you page. And then maybe use these as your emails. So maybe this is, they get the email number 1, email number 2, email number 3, or you could maybe make, so the only thing is you can't change let's see, I haven't been able to change the size. Yeah, no. You can't change the size of these. So normally when I've planned out funnels using these kinds of shapes like that in other kind of tools like this, in like process tools like this, um, I've made like each email its own small shape, but you know, you could just use each one. So you could come over here and bring the note down here, and maybe this is email number 2 instead of putting them all in one. And then you could really work through your whole funnel to show, you know, where the path to people purchasing, what that looks like. So I do think that this would be helpful for that. Like I said, there's still some things, you know, uploading images is a little weird. Adding the tasks, because they're so large, I don't know if I would do that. But you know, I definitely see that there are some opportunities to use this. But like I said, I probably wouldn't upload the images just because they're so large. Maybe not the tasks. Maybe I'd put a link to a task instead of pulling the whole thing up. But I mean, I guess it's okay the way that it is. Anyway, I just wanted to give a quick overview of my thoughts on the whiteboard option. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe for future videos. And if you enjoyed this content, I would really appreciate any support. We have a buy me a coffee link below. Our team spends a lot of hours helping me produce this channel, and every little bit helps. So please, if you are, you know, feeling generous, you can buy me a coffee and help support the continued production of this free content. All right, thank you so much.